Hello, my name is Ben Adams. I'm 31 years old. I'm from Chicago, Illinois, and I serve the South Loop Campus Ministry as well as Holy Trinity Lutheran Church. I see the ways in which we work together in these communities as an interruption of the cycle of poverty and violence and inequality in the ways that we work very closely with our neighbors experiencing homelessness. We do this through the South Loop Community Table. It's a meal that we serve every Sunday night, but it's more than just your average soup kitchen. It's really more of a dinner party where we're able to sit down and eat together, where we sing karaoke, where we watch different sporting events and award shows and really have a great time getting to know one another and building ongoing relationships. We also go and visit folks who might not join us on a Sunday night, but we deliver food to them through taking it to the streets. We take our shopping cart out into the neighborhood, and we bring food to folks who might not ever darken the door of our church, but we're able to serve as a connection point there and a relationship building moment when we're able to have conversation on the street with them. And then we also really try to stand with our neighbors experiencing homelessness, especially when they're facing eviction by the Chicago Department of Transportation. This happens quite often where homeless encampments are threatened by cleanups and just by displacement in general. The city does not really have a good track record with providing affordable housing for people needing it, and so part of our intention is to bring attention to these displacements and this ongoing, repeated, sometimes harassment by the Chicago Department of Transportation. And so when we're there with our neighbors and we're able to stand with them, we can sometimes shine a light on an injustice and push the city for more affordable housing for everyone who needs it. This work is a reflection of our calling to follow Jesus because Jesus is homeless. And that's not just a statement about who Jesus was 2,000 years ago as a historical person, but that's a theological statement about who Jesus is in our midst today. And if we cannot see Jesus in our neighbors experiencing homelessness, then I would say that we can't see Jesus. And what creative problem solving or new approach are we taking to this work is that we try to start first and foremost by calling everybody experiencing homelessness as a neighbor. These are our neighbors. These are the folks that share residency with us in the South Loop. And when we can see them first and foremost as friends and neighbors, we can really start to change the narrative and change the way our relationship begins, not in some paternalistic or hierarchical way, but as peers, as fellow residents of the South Loop, and as people fighting for justice co-equally. And what inspires me to do this work are the relationships. One example of a relationship that I always think about is one of our gentlemen who joins us on Sunday nights for the South Loop Community Table had confessed to us that he's addicted to drugs. And so one thing that he said he would often do to support his habit would be to sell his cell phone. And so what he ended up starting to do with us is that he would come in every Sunday night and show us that he still had his cell phone, that he hadn't sold it. And that was his way of checking in with us, holding himself accountable, and really being the best person that he could be, striving to be his healthiest version of himself, the person that God calls him to be. And in relationship, having that moment of relationship and that opportunity to be in weekly relationship with him, we're able to be his accountability partners, his source of encouragement and hope, and friends and neighbors along the way. So thank you so much for this opportunity to apply for the Richard E. Herman Leadership Award.